up this draft. I kind of hope Lilgun wins just because I
5
don't
seconds
know
remaining.
personally any lone druid spammers. So I want to ask a team that it was notorious for doing it, what is strong right now about the hero and what isn't, and why aren't they looking to pick it? They might just be like, "Shut up! We were hoping people forgot."
And then all of a sudden they pull it
Dire
out.
team
Probably not
battle.
a
Yeah.
potential this game. Are you? I really want this to be a tiny IO pairing, but is there any? Do they try and flex the tiny, give it to Sanctity, and go for something for 4-2-3?
I think it could be a tiny Death Prophet still, and
10
Iomars is
seconds
still a fine enough
remaining.
combination. I still really
Okay.
want the Pangolier, man. I think it's going to be good.
5
You can get into
seconds
the
remaining.
early diffusal blade. You can spam things out. You can join fights so effectively. Like I feel like that's
Ooh.
the point in time where the lanes start to dissolve. You're making a few rotations with the Death Prophet, that Io goes and connects with the Tiny instead of the Mars, and then you just make this roaming trio of Death Prophet, Mars, Pangolier, and your team fight is just overwhelmingly strong. That if it's a fantastic fight or they rotate more heroes from UDV's side, then you can relocate in and try and turn the tide in that way.
I don't know if they'll do it, but Sanctity really likes his OD, and a lot of people like it versus the Medusa matchup. So I also think it's a very good pairing with Io, very undervalued just with the bonus attack speed. He doesn't like to build attack speed, but always nice for more arcane ore picks. I think you're great just with the save versus like the Sand King Hoodwink, because you were mentioning that there's going to be a lack of damage. It's Sand King Hoodwink jumping someone, bursting them from 4 to 0,
Radiant
and then
team
after
pick.
that, what do they really have? And if you get that astral save, then all of a sudden maybe you're just preventing one hero from dying, and all of a sudden now you're all your eggs are in the basket of the Medusa to be able to dish out the damage.
Yeah, I'm just the only thing I'm worried about with that is that they might just
10
look to go
seconds
for
remaining.
they don't have the last overall pick on the gun, right? So they might just try and counter the
5
OD
seconds
somehow,
remaining.
which is my main area of concern. I mean, they are lacking a little bit of initiation right now, right? You just have to walk in on the Mars. So until you get the Blink Dagger, I guess the Death Prophet can kind of start a fight just by popping the Exorcism and pushing a tower, so you can go for some kind of counter initiation play. But I still feel like you
Dire
need a way to
team
begin
pick.
these fights. It's Ember Spirit ban? I think go Viper instead. Okay. Just mid Mars? Doesn't feel like a Sanctity hero, the Viper, that's for sure.
Yeah, where does the Viper fit? Because it's not like there's
Unless it's a
a.
mid tiny and it's a one Viper with an IO pairing and like a Death Prophet 4.
But I would expect an Io Tiny to do very well into a Sanking Hoodwink. So they've got flex. That's the main thing. We don't know what the mid matchup is going to be, which can make it pretty difficult for UDV to pick here. I think safe route is probably a leaner. More than likely, you match up well into the Viper. You could even consider a Wind Ranger, but I don't know how I'd feel Wind Ranger into like Mars and Tiny.
Did you see Toronto Tokyo's
I
tier
did.
list as well of mid heroes? Yeah, and he apparently Lena's at the very top still. So seen a couple of Lenas start to come out in recent times, particularly within Europe, but yesterday within Southeast Asia as well. I still think it's strong. It's just not as simple as it used to be, which is a good thing. I think it's not overly complex without being just press button win
You may
game. And
now
actually,
select your
UDV are the ones
heroes.
that ended up picking up this Pangolier. I suppose they were lacking a tiny bit of team fight. They do opt to go for that Sanctity Tiny and a position 1 Death Prophet. No, position 5 Death Prophet. My bad.
So we still don't know if, because Lilgun do like to swap the lanes a lot. It's not confirmed if it's going to be Sanctity mid, Sanctity safe lane with the IO. They like Sanctity a lot being on the win condition, and it's looking like the Tiny is that. So yeah, maybe they just put 4-2-3 with the Viper mid. Are you expecting that?
The thing is, like, in theory, it works, right? Because Pangolier, early on, you've got such high cooldowns on a lot of your abilities that you're not going to be able to contest the lane very effectively. But then essentially what you do is you just make sure that the range creep is the one that you secure, just so that you're getting the biggest portion of experience. And you can even go for like aggroing onto the Viper and pulling the wave back into you so you secure the full wave. But you just want to shove the lane out if you're playing against Viper and then go back and farm perhaps some of these side camps a little bit, and then go back to lane and do the exact same thing. Just keep shove, 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 even if it means going like bottle soul ring to enable you to have the mana to do so. And it also means that the Viper can't go and dive you underneath the tower with a poison attack because you then won't have creeps to be able to hit um, instead of the poison attack, which is used to harass you. So I don't know exactly how Lilgun are going to do this. Whenever I see Sanctity Tiny, it mostly is played in the mid lane. So I wouldn't hate to see it here. And I mean, a Viper against a Sand King is pretty good as long as you've got the detection to be able to reveal the sandstorm. So I think Dust is definitely the way to go.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's always that Sand King lane you need to have sentry control, and it can always make the Sand King's lane very difficult. We see often you're just kind of pulling the lane, trying to get that level 4. But for me, I'm really liking this UDV draft. I look at the Pango position too. We've seen kind of the rise of that in Southeast Asian Division 1. Lelouch for prime example with how he's been looking on this hero. And that Diffusal looks exceptional this game. Danog, you're against a Tiny, a Mars, a Viper that doesn't have the greatest mana pool. 3 heroes I just named, they don't have the greatest mana pool, and nor the IO. So you take away all their mana. How do you actually take fights on Lilgun? And I think now the Pango, that gives you a second way to initiate too. You've got the Sand King with the blink, but now you have the potential for the chain control from either your Rolling Thunder blink into the Ag Shot, and that could be devastating. So for me, I'm giving the edge to UDV.
I can see your point. The Diffusal is good against a lot of these heroes, and the other thing that I'm really worried about for Lilgun is kind of what I was mentioning when I wanted them to pick up the Pango. You mentioned it's good Diffusal, it would have been good against the Medusa, but they are still a little lacking in their ability to start team fights. This seems like a very slow lineup on Lilgun's side. You know, they don't have that a ton of stuns outside of the Tiny and the Mars. You don't have a ton of mobility either. There's no escape potential. There's no way to start team fights. No one really loves to build the blink other than the Mars here. So yeah, there's a few areas that I'm a little bit concerned about. So as long as the positioning is good on Ken with his Medusa, I feel like he should have a pretty nice game here. I'm probably going to go UDV as well, but again, it comes down to the lanes, and if Viper's somehow able to snowball off of the spot lane, get chain kills onto Torpedo, then gonna be salvageable for sure.
So you feel like that's the main thing that we have to keep tabs on is how this Viper is able to play the lane? Which...
Absolutely. I mean, you don't scale as well as anyone else. And even when we talk about, oh, you could just use Nether Toxin to shove out waves or recover from the jungle camps, well, Tiny wants to be the one taking those jungle camps. So you can't really afford to do that. It's just going to be this pretty standard power treads into a Dragonlance, into a lot of survivability build. And honestly, even early on, I could see Kishka moving away from the Tiny, just buffing up the Viper so that a lot of these objectives start to get threatened by a Viper pretty early on.
Have 4 Lilgun heroes posturing towards the northern side of the map, and JG is going to get a bit of a glimpse of this. See how they can get set up though on UDV. Shouldn't be easy for them to secure at least the rune inside their own jungles. Ken will be shoved out. But regardless, it's going to be a 2 for 2, it looks like, with the bounties. And we do also have Viper laning mid as well. So it's going to be Sanctity down bottom paired with the Death Prophet. And then we've got Kishka on 11 up top.
Okay, so JG, he's gone level 1 in a shield crash. I mean, it's got a slightly lower cooldown, I suppose, which is always going to be effective, but it just means that you're getting a little bit closer to the Viper, which I'm a little bit anxious about for him. It's performing pretty well in that mid lane, though.
Oh.
Even just missing one. He might have it for the range creep, but he's just going to take so much harass in the meantime. This is exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah, so I wonder how you look to now provide the Pango a decent game. Often, is JG in trouble? He's really playing aggressive. Okay, he's got the level 2. So we've, again, we're going to be mentioning a lot about Polaris because they're the team that's been running the Pango as a position 2 more than anyone else. And for them, they really like making stacks for Lelouch. And he actually takes a majority of the stacks at the hard camp instead of saving it for like Natsumi. So that's how they get the Pango online to find that Diffusal Blade at a good timing. And I wonder if UDV are going to fulfill a similar role.
I mean, but just look at JG though, right? He's 40 gold short of his bottle. He's got 1 Tango left, which I'm pretty sure he's going to have to plant an Iron Branch and eat, just to be able to get anywhere close to the lane. Honestly, 4-2-3 probably could have got first blood. he was putting a lot of harass in onto the Pango, but if he just denied that first range creep, he wouldn't have hit level 2 and he wouldn't have been able to swashbuckle away. So this lane, a couple of mistakes happening early on, but it's credit as well. 423 had run out of regen 2.
Speaking about the Sand King.
Sorry.
Oh, we're just speaking about the Sand King regards to just the sentry control. Looks like Rapido is able to lay down the Sandstorm and get a decent amount out of this. I was, expecting, of course, the Sand King is very weak through the early levels, so maybe that was a window where Sanctity and Ace 12 could use that to penalize Rapido.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Ah, yes, a Death Prophet. What a hero.
Very fair, very balanced. He actually ended up losing his rage creep underneath his own mid tower, so means that you're not going to hit those odd level timings quicker, which is always a little bit of a pain point, right? You want to get up to that level 3, that level 5 as quickly as possible. Now, this is exactly what I was talking about, right? You can't go for the dive underneath the tower anymore because the lane is constantly shoved in onto your side because JG is looking to put a lot of emphasis to make sure that this lane is constantly on the Radiant side. Actually, go for a bit of a pull here, surprisingly enough.
Okay.
Take the space. Just.
I wonder... Okay. Well, he's going to have... I guess the nice thing about the Pango is you've got a little bit more mobility than the Viper. So you can probably secure the runes relatively easy. And we haven't seen... Like, we do have 4 minutes coming up shortly, so I wonder if the supports are going to think about coming mid just to deny that away from JG. So bottom lane lose a fight. Oh, they just get the damage before Rapido lands the Burrow Strike, and now he's in a lot of trouble. Sanctity has the boots to catch up, and with the toss back into Ace 12's Crypt Swarm at level 2 is enough to find a double kill as Lilgun strike first.
Man, I gotta learn this Death Prophet hero as a position 5. I'm too lazy. I'm like, I'll just play what I like. But it just seems incredibly strong, right? So survivable. Requires the enemy team to focus so heavily onto you. Later on, the utility with the silence as well.
4-2-3.
This rotation, though.
Did they kill him? They might. 2 points in Swashbuckle's a decent amount of damage. Ace 12's trying to connect to the lane. JG did go under the tower though, and he might be penalized for this. A little bit of a mistake from the Pangolier as Ace 12 comes roaring mid to offer some assistance.
Is it me, or did he miss a lot of those swashbuckle hits as well?
Yeah,
I feel like not every single one landed.
I'm not sure. He definitely didn't pass by.
Started to get a little bit of harass up on this top side as well. He's got the double bracer build, so lots of regen coming out, in addition to the IO, of course, with the headdress, and it's getting a decent amount out of this top lane. But just have a look at what it actually means in terms of the overall net worth right now. I know you like to stick on the last hits, but have a look at the Pango when compared to the Viper. This is what you've given yourself in
nice
this lane.
spear. What?
Is it nice?
Yeah, I don't know.
Nice?
Maybe it's not. Well, T gets the last swipe, and he should end up going down. Although Self Trick and he jukes to the north. Doesn't have enough mana for the TP, so runs back into Tower's range, and 11 has the abilities back up and available, and they do trade the lives, so was it a good spear? Was it not? Who knows, but 11 does at least get the kill, and now they're going to push on forward for Ken. Be back up in 3 seconds. Let's see how Ken's going to be able to position himself away from the tree line, but 11, with the help of the movement speed from Kishka, angles himself to the left side so he can find that spear connection.
Mid lane. The first Viper Strike used onto JG, and he's used all of his abilities as well. Nice fighting him around a little bit.
Oh, abilities up shortly. If 423 doesn't get this kill fast, Tango. Oh! That's close. That's a bit too close for comfort, honestly.
It's a little slow eating those couple of trees there. He ate one eventually, but by that time, he'd already made the great escape. Very nice individual play coming out there from JG, who's looking to build up some stacks for himself, and he's praying for that rune to be on the top side. Is he? Ooh, tried to get there a little bit faster, but you've used one of your mobility skills already.
Okay.
Just able to get away. Please pick up the bounty.
Ace 12, he gets the double damage rune down bottom. He doesn't have a ward or sentry though to block up the triangle, so there's a triple at the hard. Nothing the Ancients just yet for Ken, and well, speaking about Ken, he's getting chased down. We need T to step in. It's like with the already 2 points in Ignite from T, he will hold them back. Bottom lane, an easy dive as Sanctity. Help Ace 12 is able to kill off the Sand King while he wasn't having any support from, what was it, Luzify bottom.
I almost wonder if JG wants to be the one taking this hard camp stack, right? Because it's just so important for him to find some kind of way to catch up, both in net worth and levels. I was saying I wanted him to go bottle Soul Ring. He's opting down the route of the Arcane Boots instead, which I feel is fine, because you can, you know, later on disassemble it into something like a Lotus Orb, which is going to be very effective against this Lilgun lineup. But it's still an area of concern, right? You want the Medusa to be able to use a lot of these stacks to be able to continue to farm up. And right now, it's only that one plus a single stack inside the Dire main jungle.
Yeah, again, I think he should be, because that's what we see how Polaris enable Lelouch. They often give him a hard stack as bottom lane. Rapido is going to stack up to his third death of the game as Sanctity and Ace 12. Kind of freebie there, but it does give them some confidence now for UDV to push on 4, but unfortunately with the duo supports, they will not bring down Kishka.
But this is kind of what I was talking about with the win condition, right, for Lilgun, where they just need to body this Sand King in lane. I honestly wasn't expecting the Hoodwink to have to rotate to mid this quickly. I thought it would be a tiny bit closer, this matchup between the Pango and the Viper. At least he's been able to bottle an Illusion Rune, so that might enable them to go for a bit of a deeper dive, now that you've got the way to dispel off the poison attack.
Oh, this is going on though. Sanctity's getting a lot of damage into the tower. Without
I don't think there's much you can do about that, though.
No, there's not. It's just, you are free farming on a Tiny. We have seen the Medusa Tiny matchup be Medusa favored, but Tiny can definitely come online a little bit faster and create some chaos due to this.
Pango reduced to jungling. Getting the single Blightstone to assist with a lot of the harass coming out, but no, he certainly isn't getting a lot out of this, and might even be reduced to stacking Medusa a little bit here. And get some of that passive gold.
Well, now it could be looking like it's a almost 4 Protect 1 lineup with how rough of a lane JG's had. Just
up to the top side to try and push out this top lane a little bit. If you could delay the towers going down, that's good, of course, for a Medusa. To be able to delay the invasion into Dire jungle is always effective. So, speaking of that, 11 starting to make a little bit of a movement here, joined now by Kishka.
JG's going to open up the start. Spear connection. I don't know if they're going to have the damage. JG still ends up dropping. Over the rest of UDV, they might just get the kill on Kishka, but 4-2-3 is going to enter the fight. The Viper holding back Dire. Lucifer is going to attempt the TPR, but the damage inside the base, it's enough to tick him down. You've got a rotation from Rapido as well, so the first epi not even required, as Ken locks him in place thanks to the Stone Gaze. So in the end, a 2 for 2. It's unfortunate that JG gets nothing out of that fight, but you do have Ken getting involved.
Absolutely. And it just kind of felt like they were slowly feeding the gold through to the Medusa, which is not what you want. Unfortunately for Luzify, he went back to base, bought a Fairy Fire to try and survive through a couple of more of those ticks. But, wasn't able to, and still ended up going down to the Viper Strike. So, I mean, it's worth it, I suppose, to get a lot of those kills and continue snowballing on this Viper, but I don't know. I feel like you do need to value your own life a little bit higher than that.
A concern for me is just the net worth. There's about 1,000 lead for the Tiny over the Medusa, and he still hasn't farmed multiple stacks that he has over by Radiance Triangle. So Lilgun have done a better job to prepare the Tiny for this early game.
And they're blocking up a lot of the Medusa stacks as well in the Dire Triangle area. So very good understanding of what the key timings that are looking to come out here. He wants to get the easy kill here onto Luzify if he moves forward a little bit more. Actually, if Ken's here as well, now that you've got the relocate, might open up the opportunity to go for a kill. Looks like they want to take top tower first, but JG charging up the Rolling Thunder.
They're going to have the Sand King TP in as well. Arena only blocking T into place, but who do they want to burst down on the side of UDV? They're indecisive, aiming towards the arm with the backline. Kishka's not down just yet, and this is given an angle for Lilgun to kill off the 2 supports from UDV.
are fortified.
Ace again, just sitting pretty close onto those front lines, so tanky. And try and just get some damage in onto the tier 1 tower from the
Radiant's
safety of
top
the
tower.
trees.
Not
Very
yet.
fair, very balanced.
Oh.
Good job,
Dire's
Gabe.
top tower
Now what do you
has
do?
fallen.
JG's got a TP, but Rapido, he TP'd into the lane, so there's going to be no escape for the Sand King, continuing to tally up the deaths on the position 3 for UDV.
Not looking good, is it? I know
Oh.
we were both UDV predictors here, but certainly
Precious
wasn't
bounty.
expecting, again, the lanes to go this poorly. I feel like they could have put a bit more emphasis onto stacking, a little bit more emphasis onto providing a way for Pango to consistently shove out the lanes, because, like I said, it just felt like this actually hasn't even gone into the Arcane Boots since then. He's reverted to Diffusal Blade instead, realizing that, look, I'm not going to be able to shove out lanes. That's not my job in a lot of these engagements. I just need to have some level of effectiveness once
Dire's
these team
top
fights
tower
start to
is
actually
under
break out.
attack.
Yeah, puts you in a very tricky position for UDV. But again, they're definitely, even though the early game is looking very grim, 4,000 net worth lead, they're soon to hit some of their timings. Diffusal, Blink, they can definitely hit back with defending towers. You'd love to keep mid open
Dire's
before
middle
that
tower
though,
is
but I
under
don't think
attack.
Lilgun are going to let that
Dire's
happen.
structures are fortified.
They know exactly where the Sand King is, though. Some de-warding happening right now, but it does feel like, I don't know, like the timings are coming, but with UDV making these rotations, it means that they're not going to hit those timings, right? You're forcing them to move away while the Tiny just continues to farm, and that's the main pain point that I'm seeing here as well. I was saying that Lilgun had a few lacking
lane.
areas of being
It's a
able
big kill
to...
if they can get 11's life. They got a crystal nearby to be able to bounce back on. A little bit awkward from JG though. And they're actually just going to TP down and relocate out, so... Yeah, off the mark. And meanwhile, who's going to go down? Top lane, we got Ace 12 dropping to lose a fight along with Ken. So, okay, get something out of the map here for
Radiant's
UDV.
top tower is under attack.
Sanctity's got the Blink Dagger now, though. Like I was saying before, they lack a way to be able to initiate a lot of these team fights. This can actually... Sanctity ends up revealing that. Not under vision right now, so he'll be able to get the TP away, and Fly as well doing a good job scurrying away through the trees. But that's, again, just another one of these small misplays. You know, it's... can we say it's early in the day? It's noon or so in Southeast Asia right now.
I think it's early
but...
for gamer hours, right? Is that the conclusion we've come to?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh.
They end up smoking right underneath an observer ward here, so that a play's about to happen, and just look at the positioning coming through from UDV.
They don't have Rolling
Make their
Thunder
own
though.
smoke happen.
Ken, it's going to be under the pump here. Oh, okay, double bow strike. It's going to hold them all back. Now with the epicenter burst, it doesn't matter. Ken's going to drop as Lilgun enter the fight with a hell of a combo. They're still going to be cautious though. Sanctity's looking to rectify this. A jump to the backline. Takes down one, but maybe he's overcommitted too far, or has he not? He's still got Kishka to combine with him. So Lilgun, with the sheer volume of numbers, they will push back UDV from defending the mid lane.
And they knew they were coming the entire time, and still the damage was way too much for the Deuce to handle. I'm kind of surprised that I suppose he's only got the 1 point in the mana shield,
Dire's middle
really going
tower
for that
is under
farm-heavy
attack.
style as opposed to a brawling one. Lucifer nearly dropped to a Crypt Swarm.
Yes, that was very... I don't know. He just chucked out a random Crypt Swarm in the tree line, just like, oh, yep, maybe the Hoodwink's here. Maybe I'll get the kill. It was on point, but unfortunately only level 2. So I think the big thing is the fact that they don't get the tower, though. So that was without Rolling Thunder, without Diffusal. It was an exceptional jump from Sand King, though, which I don't know if you're going to get for a second time in the row, but the main talking point is that UDV will still have their mid lane to play off, and more importantly, just a triangle that's difficult to access now for
Dire's
Lilgun.
top tower is under attack.
I'm gonna say, like, is this Raging Potato playing right now? What's going on? Because he was hitting some fantastic ones for SMG yesterday.
Yeah, that was quite the Sand King performance from Rage Potato. And didn't have the greatest lane as well, which we're seeing from Rapido. So maybe it's just have a bit of a rough lane, get your blink, and you're ready to rock.
Lose lane, win game. That's the dream, right?
100%.
Go for another smoke. They
Bottom tower
see
is under
Sanctity
attack.
up here, farming
Kill.
wave as much as possible. He's trying to play around the fog as much as he
a
can,
big
considering it's
kill.
nighttime. Blink, though, Be on point, and yeah, look at that. Spidey sense coming on through.
Dire's middle tower is
They're
under
now
attack.
Ken, though. Damn, you gotta get the hell out of the area. 11 trying to gap close as fast as possible.
Radiant's bottom tower
They
is
might be
under
able to
attack.
force 11 closer, but a use of the Stone Gaze down mid lane. They've ran into the Viper. A great Rolling Thunder pass through cancels out the relocate, and 4-2-3 ends up dropping to the Sharpshooter from afar. And they are... This is huge, then. UDV doing exactly what they need to do to stall this game out.
Yeah, Ken needing to use the Stone Gaze just for that extra movement speed to escape the gank. It's coming through from the Death Prophet and the Mars, but good job. Able to make the counter initiation happen. The Viper's Snowball is... I don't want to say it's been eliminated because you're still, what, 1.5, a bit more net worth ahead of the Pangolier. But in terms of what you're actually able to provide a team fight, now that Pango has picked up the Diffusal Blade, he's halfway towards his Blink Dagger, you've still always got the Rolling Thunder. This was the area that I was...
It just looks to jump the Ogre. A quick and easy kill for them as Repeater doesn't find an angle in, but it looks like this tower should finally drop.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
I think it's
Radiant's
pretty damn
top
farmed. I mean, you notice that he jumped up to third on the net worth there, a little bit behind. Medusa, 8 assists so far, and looking to try and connect it again onto this Deucer as much as possible.
Oh, he's gonna do. Oh, that's
Found
the
him.
worst time. What?
Oh, he hit the illusion!
Was he microing with the illusion?
I think he was. I saw them moving while that TP was happening.
And look at them connecting. That I think they're going for a smoke now.
Why not? Arena used.
Oh my.
So basically their question now is, where is Tiny farming? They were initially going to go to the triangle, but now that they've seen Tiny use the avalanche, they know that they're in the area. That might just allow them to set up on this high ground as he moves in
Repeater
to farm
runs
the
straight.
ancient.
Oh, great. Great reactions from Sanctity. Oh, they knew exactly his farming pattern to the triangle after being in the mid lane. Sanctity's just a little bit too quick on the fingers, and now Radiant, they're going to counter smoke themselves. Get out.
Yeah, they just wanted to make sure to get that ancient stack
Radiant's
first.
middle tower is under
Nicely
attack.
done there by Rapido. They still don't have arena, so this is
11?
again
Ooh.
a concern for mine. Like, how do you actually take these fights? Viper's not going to provide you any of it. You don't have arena. You don't want to pop Exorcism in like a non-guaranteed team fight scenario, so it does feel like a little bit of a preemptive smoke coming out here.
3,000 net worth lead, though. It's continuing to drop, and it's actually UDV with a very slight advantage in the probability. So they are... And we've also seen Sanctity's been quite some gold ahead of Ken, but it looks like with all the space they're providing for the Medusa, she has caught up a decent amount.
Now Sanctity, it's very clear to me that he's been going for this aggressive team fighty style of build.
Radiant's
So
bottom tower
the fact that
is
he's
under
only got
attack.
6 kills so far is still slightly concerning. He only just picked up the Aghanim Shard right now to enable him to farm a little bit more effectively. And honestly, even his team fight presence too, right? So I'd be a little worried right now if I was on Lilgun. Maybe just wanting to get into the BKB so that you can look to withstand the Rolling Thunder, actually standard man fight into this. But by that point, Medusa's probably going to be close to picking up the Skadi, so you're going to need to make every rotation a winner.
You need to get your BKBs ASAP. Repeater just has Ag Shard and level 2 in Epicenter. You're going to have big issues now with the chain control from the Pango. I feel like, honest, if UDV get the start to the next fight and they just don't lose 2 heroes instantly, I feel like they should be favored right now, even though they're down 3,000. I'm very concerned how Lilgun can fight without BKBs.
Yeah, this is, again, the issue with the draft. You can dominate the laning stage all you want, but it needs to convert into something. And right now, the only hero that they have to do that is the Mars. So, let's see, they look to play around 11. Even the top side, you can see that's where Sanctity looks to make the rotation through too, and they'll
JG.
find the Pango.
They need the extra follow-up. Sans just clipping at the last second. And this is also without the need of the relocate. So just 11 and Ace 12 playing together. And they're going to look to now lead this into Roshan.
Okay, the level 10 timing on the IO perhaps giving them the the safety to feel like that's
Radiant are
an area that
scanning.
they can look to do. I think they really made sure to
Radiant
hug
structures
that
are
Roche pit
fortified.
wall as well, so this observer isn't even going to scout that out either. Although Ace 12 just goes into vision right now, so they've got an indication, but it's
Radiant's
just going to be
bottom
too late.
tower is under attack.
Looks like
No one defending bot, no one
Radiant's
defending mid.
bottom tower. Roshan has fallen to the
there's
Radiant.
the cost though. You get Roche, you get your first tower of the game. You are getting Ken closer to Skadi as well, which is, I don't know, you know how much I'm a
Getting it
fan
so
of.
fast,
Yeah.
actually.
This is a beautiful Skadi game.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I don't know if they can withstand this ages. I think Skadi wins in this game.
Dire's
Uh,
top
just-
tower is
I
under
feel like I've been
attack.
saying that a bit too often, but I've just continued to see Skadi's just be exceptional into the enemy's lineup.
Look, if an item is busted, it's busted. You know,
Okay,
that's
yep.
all you got to say.
Thank
Tiny,
you, I
who's
appreciate
gonna be very
that.
effective at
Dire's top
hiding
tower is under
with the
attack.
VKB. You've got an
Radiant's
excess in
bottom
team
tower
fight.
is
You've
under
got a
attack.
Viper for
lane?
the. Don't know if you can kill him.
Yeah, maybe
Just
just.
feel safe enough to whack into the tower.
Dire's structures
They
are
TP'd
fortified.
He's
in.
got the thing. He's got the
Radiant's middle
done.
tower has
Excuse me.
fallen.
He's tier 2 for tier 1 trade mid. So it's. Yeah, you're having to give up some pretty costly towers, but at least
Radiant's
UDV
middle
are
tower
continuing
is
to
under
find farm
attack.
for Kent, who now has Skadi. He's also getting a little bit of experience, which is always important with the Ogre Medusa. You're now up to level 2 in your Bloodlust.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It's pretty important though. You've got BKBs on everyone but Sanctity. He's going into the Silver Edge, realizing that he needs to be the main damage dealer. I suppose, like, it's weird. I still feel like they're going for the jump pickoff, right? Because if Medusa gets off Stone Gaze, it doesn't matter if you've got
Radiant's
BKB or
bottom
not.
tower is
You're still
under
going to have
attack.
to disengage. So why not just go for that additional little bit of damage?
Sanctity charging forward to the triangle where Ken is currently positioned, trying to finish off one of the ancient creeps. And now with the toss further back, Repeater's going to try and find an angle into the fight. It's another beautiful burrow strike onto 3, which gives the Medusa an opportunity to try and utilize the ult, but they're still focusing down Ken. All the damage being pumped into the position 1 as they can take away the life of Ken, and the rest of UDV are in shambles as they're trying to retreat to the best of their possibilities. GG! Just one more swipe from Sanctity. The help of Ace 12 will claim the life of the Pango. So in the end, Lilgun will come out top, but 2-0.
They had to use everything, though. I mean, if the Medusa gets a Stone Gaze off before she's speared into the Mars wall, she lives. You're able to turn that fight around and live entirely, and instantly queuing up the BKB after that as well. So the pure damage route ends up paying off.
Peter is underneath the ward.
They found him.
Just gets out of the spear. There's no way. Blink up in a couple of seconds. Can they get any damage?
Ow.
Ooh.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
They...
I still feel pretty even. I mean, it's a second tier 2,
Dire's
sure.
middle tower
And it's going to
has
be your
fallen.
outpost being removed, but still up against a Medusa. And she's going to get that BKB by the time you're
Dire's
looking to go
middle
up onto the
tower
high
is
ground.
under attack.
Soul
Radiant's
Crest being
bottom
purchased
tower
up now
is
by
under
Luzify,
attack.
so just more and more to buff up the Medusa. This 4 protect 1 strategy is just becoming stronger and stronger.
Be a little bit unlucky if he runs into Sanctity, though. Invis up, stalking Luzify. Does he run in the right direction? No, just wants to farm. And actually, Dire, they want to take the fight bottom. They've got a pretty good ward by Radiant's outpost. How do you start this, though? Repeater's been exceptional so far. We're going to drop another ward, but Lilgun starting to trail out of the area.
I like how UDV are playing around their vision, though, this time. That ward did just clip the Tiny as he went into the Invis form, so they know that they need to play a little bit more defensively. Honestly, Teehee is playing with fire a little bit here. I really want to see him go into the Mana Shield.
gonna see
sorry, the
Sanctity.
Fire Shield.
20 seconds left on the
Dire's
ages.
middle tower is
It's a
under
long
attack.
backstab though from Sanctity,
Radiant's bottom
and they're not all
tower
grouped at
is
the
under
moment.
attack.
I don't know if UDV can stick around now to fight, but they might not lose anyone. Wow. Okay.
The Bongos ended up helping Teehee, just able to get on out.
Radiant are scanning.
Looks like he's been on a journey of a few different item builds. He was going into the Veil, but then when the early game didn't work too well, he was like, okay, well, we really need to buff us
Wait.
Medusa.
How do they know? How do they know JG was on the high ground? Okay. Look, I've got no idea, but that's Rolling Thunder Force. Serena used as well. JG's gonna get a wave and TP out. Oh.
He was on point with that one as well, 11.
Sanctity's gonna
Radiant's
run into
bottom
Ken.
tower is under attack.
This is not an easy kill.
I mean, you don't have Arena. Like, that is the big thing for mine, right? You can have all the damage in the world, but you need the lockdown to be able to prevent her from getting off that Stone Gaze. And right now, you don't.
Get the bounty.
Except for timing.
We'll do 3.
Careful here on
Bit
4, 2,
disconnected.
3.
Well, used to the BKB, so we'll allow him to reset. They're going to lose the ward on the higher ground, though, which is important. 11 pounces a double spear. Oh, that's beautiful for 11. What a way for the Master to enter the fight. But now with the Stone Gaze out, a lot of damage onto the Sanctity. That's where Kishka can come into play to try and protect the Io as best as possible.
Radiant's current
Now
has been
UDV
killed.
finding an escape avenue to the northern side, but Rapido charging up the epicenter straight onto 2 once again. Another huge ultimate. Rapido is able to turn this fight completely back around. Or can they though? Sanctity, couple quick swipes, dealing enough damage to have the dieback. He's going to toss JG in the air. Kishka flies on over.
No
Sanctity's
way.
not dead just yet. Ken needs to catch up. One more right click with his Spirit Vessel. Sanctity doesn't go down. They might get ace though. Cancellation of the TP. There's no chance Sanctity's thinking about re-entering the fight. What a crit! Oh, Sanctity! You absolute monster!
Oh, they didn't finish their food areas. They were needing to go for that IO. The amount that Kishka was able to do in that fight was insane. The healing just made Tiny survive for an extra 20 seconds than he should have. And comes out of that with a triple kill, and he's well on the way to picking up his BKB, which means he's going to be able to withstand through a lot of that counter initiation, like that amazing epicenter that came through from Rapido.
As for UDV fans, I'm worried, Danog, because I don't know if Rapido can continue the game that he's having right now. I swear to God, we're getting almost every bar strike he's clipping 2 heroes more, epicenter's doing stupid amount of damage. I don't know if that's going to continue.
Yeah, it is certainly a little bit concerning, and I mean, but you just need to change one tiny thing. Just one more right click onto Kishka and you win that fight, though. It is honestly that close.
All right. Priority number 1. Bring down Kishka. For Lilgun, though, who are they looking for? Who's their priority number 1?
Lilgun? I think you need to try and take out the Pango early. Like, he's just got so much utility now, right? He's got the roll-up, he's got the Diffusal Blade, he's got the Blink Dagger, going into a Shiva's Guard as well, so reducing the healing component even further. Guarded that you've already got picked up. I'm back into the Veil. I still really want the Fire Shield on Teehee. Whenever I'm going up against a Tiny, this item is just incredible value coming through. 85% damage reduction against a Tiny is just... It gives you that extra couple of seconds that you need.
I think one thing that deserves to be mentioned as well is the position in Ace 12 in his net worth. He's higher than Rapido. He's also, I mean, he's pretty close to the Pango considering, and he's 5-1 and 13, Agshard 4-staff along with Ghost Scepter. And this is scary, Danog, because the Death Prophet is a hero. You do core amount of damage. Like, it's ridiculous. You are going to be dealing... I'm really excited to see the end of the game. Whoever wins, it doesn't matter. I just want to see the Death Prophet's damage, because I feel like she's definitely up there towards the top.
Also, an interesting item build for a support Death Prophet as well, going into the Blink Dagger, but I can understand it, I suppose, right? You pop that Exorcism, you blink yourself in onto the backlines, you force BKBs out of the Medusa, you force an early stun through from the Sand King, might prevent the Rolling Thunder from coming through. So I don't hate it, but I still feel like they need to be playing around Vision to make that kind of play happen. But EV have been pretty good at defensively positioning themselves around their own Vision as well. So I think it's just one of these games that's going to come down to the power of information.
We spoke a lot about the Viper 423 in the early stages with how he was able to dominate Pangolier. Have you liked kind of the transition from him this game with his items and just with his playstyle?
I'll be honest, haven't really felt 423's impact very much since the laning stage.
Good old
You know,
Viper things, right?
occasionally, yeah, exactly. He's going to go into the Skadi, and I think he just changed over from a Pupil's Gift into the Enchanted Quiver, so now the damage is going to rack up a whole lot more. Seconds with that, the True Strike, the bonus damage, the bonus range as well.
Sanctity's so far forward. All the information they would ever so desire. A couple of swipes, and that's enough to get rid of the Ogre. Godlike Shriek now for Sanctity.
They're just looking to play around that Roche Pit, though. Up in a couple of seconds, they'll be able to claim that, plus the Aghanim Shard. I assume Viper's going to be the one given over. Which means that those towers are going to melt even faster than they already do. Got a Tiny on your side.
Radiant are scanning.
Yeah, it seems no value for the Ire to have at this game. Oh, should be free. Seems like there's going to be no contestation from UDV. Sanctity now has the Aegis. We saw how difficult it was to kill him previously, and well, now good luck doing it a second time.
Really does feel like you could just pop Sanctity onto the front
Do they
lines,
hold this
right?
area?
And I think the rest of the team does need to be playing around him a lot more, though, right? You can't just put yourself up there. It's the one place that UDV was feeling safe to farm, so Sanctity just going up on his own. Tiny bit of a death sentence coming through. He ends up walking up again, but
Oh, there's a
team
DD.
do need to be there. I mean, how is Viper going to join this fight? Like, that's what I'm concerned about.
That's a great point. My guy's chilling across the map right now. You know what else is...
Eventually TPing in.
You run at them now. Sanctity's already been doing that, but now with the double damage rune, it's like, alright, I go a little bit deeper. I can force something. Oh no, that's the main target. Oh, not the Sand King has been ever so vital to the team fights on UDV, and oh, he stood no chance.
Oh man, they were able to clean out that Observer Ward as well, so now the high ground siege begins, and...
Okay, Sanctity's fallen pretty low, but now with the Ire along with the BKB, slams his ground, it just slams down the life of JG.
Low though on Sanctity. Doesn't have lifesteal just yet, so
Radiant's bottom tower
it's going to even
is
just
under
relocate
attack.
back to be able to push out this wave on the bottom side. I was thinking maybe they would consider going to the fountain just to get back to full HP. Apparently
They
not.
take a fight before they come back. It can do a lot of damage to the Mars, but be okay.
He doing his best to continuously push out this wave though. Just standing in the trees, using the Veil, using the Ignite, hoping for the multicast procs is the name of the game for him. I'm going to say it again. I don't care if I sound like a broken record. Give me the Fire Shield. You just saw what happened to Rapido. Get that Fire Shield onto your team. Even if it's preemptively, I mean, they knew the gank was coming, right? He survives if he has that up onto it.
Keep hiding, Teehee. Don't step out just yet. Don't let a stray courier fly over and see you. Okay, he's going to be chilling. I think, I know you're mentioning the...
Get the next wave.
Next wave. Sanctity just hit level 25 as well. So our first one of the game, 2 levels ahead of the Medusa. So it has gone for the toss charges. Well, what's the play here, Sanctity? It's just Ken with no one behind.
Feel like you just farm up that AC, right? You're so close to it already. It's just going to make
Radiant's
your
top tower is
physical
under
damage
attack.
even more irresistible.
Does the Silver's Edge change the status quo of these team fights? I know they already had a break with the Sharpshooter, but do you feel like now at least having a guaranteed one on the Tiny could be concerning?
Nah,
Radiant's
I think
top
it's more
tower
just for
is
the
under
crit,
attack.
honestly. Like, the Silver Edge as well has, I believe, a 4-second lower cooldown from the Shadow Blade. I might be wrong.
Yeah, it is lower.
5 seconds. So it is just more effective time where you're not revealed on the map. I think that's one of the bigger components to it. And it's just like, it's an effective item for its slot, right? Just to get crit plus that in one item is insane.
They are doing a very good job to pull them across the map, though. It was firstly the Ogre bottom, Now top lane, it was just JG taking a tier 1 tower. And I don't know how they caught vision of Kishka, but they pinged out that he's alone.
What if oh wait, yeah, he's got scurry camouflage. That's why I was like, oh, how did he not see Ace? But sees him just walking on by, and the AC now picked up, or the Tiny holding in his backpack. If you would. And
Sanctity runs underneath the
Yeah,
sentry.
oh,
Great timing of the stun. But a BKB out from Sanctity is able to stand his ground able to help. But Kishka, the Tiny's able to push on 4 for more. But they've killed off the IO. That's incredibly important now, not having the ball light to be able to play along with the Tiny, who, keep in mind, still has the ages for another 40 seconds. JG trying to keep him locked in place for as long as possible. The silence prevents the stone gaze. Now gets it out the last second. Mitigating all the damage from Lilgun, so they can't pursue on for more, but that's where Ace 12 comes into play. Moving towards the backline, Sanctity still has the blink up in the arsenal. A jump to Tihi, not enough, but now they're able to turn, get the recognition of the positioning from Lucify, who hasn't even gone down just yet. Simultaneously, Aegis claim beating on to 4-2-3. It's a hell of a fight for UDV to be able to hit back, and now they want Sanctity's life for the cherry on top, and it looks like they're gonna find it. No BKB into a TP out. They'll just slowly, ever so painfully bring down the Tiny, and that is a huge streak to claim.
And the bad part of that is for Sanctity is that if he just walked away from that high ground where you know they've got great sentry coverage, they had no detection. So he would have just been able to silver edge on away. And well, that is the big win that they were hoping for on UDV's side. Double damage as well, the reward on the top side of the river, as they're going to look to push this into more and more objectives.
You know what's a Giga Chad move right now for the Deucer?
You're not going to say Rapier, are you?
Buy Rapier with the DD and just anticipate that he doesn't have a buyback. I mean, he bought out AC. If they saw this, you know, he's mega farm though. So maybe it's like, all right, there's a good chance he's got buyback and enough gold for AC. But that's the Giga Chad play. I'm a little bit disappointed, Ken.
Radiant's middle tower.
No, not the Aether-Leds T. Buy the Fire Shield, damn it.
Who would have thought they'd be the first ones to even get a tier 3 tower and a full set of barracks? This is wild.
I mean, we did, right? We predicted it.
We did, but Lilgun had firm control of this game.
Never in doubt.
Never in doubt. All right. It doesn't look like he bought out for the butterfly. I'm trying to find the Medusa's Cory, though. Is there anything?
I think he's getting a Satanic.
Yeah. Oh, well, he's also completed level 25 off the back of that previous fight, so that's a split shot. Modifiers. We got a ball game.
Some tier 4 items. He's still got buyback after buying that Satanic as well. Got to make sure that you unlock the Morbid Mask on the Courier. So, Mr. Ken.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Is it coming back?
It's coming back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think one thing we do have to mention is that there were buybacks prior from Dire, Sand King along with the Ogre, or JG. They're onto the IO. We saw they were able to bring him down at the start of the previous fight, and they will replicate that. And that has been kind of the success for UDV. Kill the IO at the start, and you are in a position to be able to continue on with this advantage.
And they have no glyph. Love the fact as well for JG, they're prioritizing him heavily. You know, he's a big part of their team fight, and he's the one holding onto the blast streak to make sure that the Tiny is
11?
completely wiped him up.
Posturing super aggressively.
Not wanting to continue onto the high ground though, respecting the Tiny strength. And I can understand that. He's got the multiple toss charges too, so he could just go for that Shadow Blade play into the toss back into the team, blink in, toss back even further underneath the tier 4 towers. As we get to this stage, that sort of shenanigans can look to happen.
Fast roach spot. Oh, it is. 3 seconds. Watch the Viper. Your Courier is going to do nothing inside the pit. As now Medusa has a leveler. One of the best tier 4s for the Deuce. Oh, Rapier Cuter. Okay, Ken.
You're loving it, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Rapier. Again, I really miss the True Strike Rapier when we were actually getting a little bit earlier. They're coming out.
Illusion.
Nice little pickup as well. He's looking to use the ninja gear just for that smoke vision on the Deucer.
Mega wraparound. Smoke just
They're
pops.
not just gonna walk in Rosh, are
Sanctity's
they?
instantly gonna jump straight onto Lucifer, but Sanctity's lacking the damage at the moment. 11 with the arena on top of the backline. It is heavily mitigating how the Deucer can enter the fight. So they're just going to look to split away. A Delta from Lilgun, back in they go, but they brought down 4-2-3 with ease. They don't have an answer to the Medusa, but she's not focusing the Tiny. As Rapido burrows on forward, Sancti still holding the BKB, but pouncing over the tree line. They don't have buybacks on Dire. They've got to be cautious how long they continue to take the fight. As Sancti tossing Ken away. I don't think they have the answer to the Medusa, though. Ken is main moding just every single target, finally popping the BKB, trying to stand his ground to the best he possibly can. He's got to respect Lilgun though. Out of mana.
Oh,
They're continuing to chase. Disarm is out. Means that Lilgun, they can't jump, but that's where Sanctity can still offer some damage potential. As Deuce is gone, he's got a buyback, but Lilgun, what a fight to put themselves in position to potentially take this.
Well, Sanctity was hungry for more, even just tossing the tree frustrated inside the base. The mid lane's pushing in, but bigger prize is that Roshan. Toss them 3 buybacks, actually, to be able to pick it one up. And I wonder if they're going to look to give this one over to... Honestly, I would even consider giving it to 11 at this stage. Like, he had to buy back for that, and he is still such a key component of your team fight. It's still going to be Sanctity. I'm not sure if that's the best choice.
Well, who'd they give the rest to? Shard on 11. You've got Cheese on 4-2-3 now. So without the orb, 11's now going to have the potential for double arenas, double poggers.
Tower is under attack.
This...
Double his mana to be able to get all that off.
That is true. If they can hold Deuce's buyback, she might buy Rapier for the defense of probably the second set. Although they've got Glyph.
I love all of the... How can we get Rapier into this game? Oh,
they're going to make sure that's not a possibility. And jump in before the Deuce is even back alive. Tihi still not dead. But an early use of the Rolling Thunder. They haven't been able to kill off the Eye, which in turn means that Sanctity is super difficult to bring down, JG. Solely focusing onto the Tiny, but now with the Rolling Thunder soon to expire, the Pango. A heavy price to pay.
Another use of that arena if they have the mana. Again, it's just a little bit short here on 11. It's got the Soul Ring to be able to use it for, but it's a full use of the Rolling Thunder. Not quite yet level 25 either on the Pango, so it's still going to be a little bit of time until he's got it available again. But to be honest, they didn't lose a ton either. You know, just a tier 3, not having to use the Medusa's buyback, it's worth so much more.
Yep.
Walk in there, Lockie. Just walk into the secret shop.
Let's go,
You
Ken.
think he's considering it?
Let's go, baby.
Oh,
Let's go, Ken. What do you sell? Dragonlance?
Yeah.
So
Satanic?
he's thinking too long. Okay, he did it.
He sold Satanic. He just bought Satanic and then he sold it and then he sells his boots.
No, no, Lose if
Was
I
that a
tips
misclick?
him. 100%.
Yeah.
Lose if I just tipped him.
Yeah, I feel like he was meaning to get rid of the boots just because you got the ninja gear for that little bit of movement speed. Oh, no, that is not good.
Is it going to cost them?
Well,
How much? He's almost got enough.
have a look at the net worth swing from that. It's not that much. I mean, you still did buy the rapier.
Middle tower is under attack.
I think he's got enough. Okay. Like nothing happened, Danog. Like nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
He just wasted a bunch of gold and doesn't have buyback now, but they aren't utilizing the ages at the moment. Oh, no, they got a leveler too. Sanctity. Does he want the legs or does he want the leveler?
You backpack the level, a minimum. Oh. It's going into a Mage Slayer and then a Blood on Mr. Tony.
Another one to mention real quick is 11's 25. Went for the HP regen on Arena. Still doesn't have Refresher yet though, as they are coming out in Sanctity. A little bit away from the team. With the rapier damage, they're not going to anticipate it. Alright, Ire's going to be perfectly set up for the reload, but look at Ken's position. Instant stone gaze with the Rolling Thunder. Follow up with a reload. Oh, it's beautiful. Sanctity's out. Saving Ryan. Thank you, Kishka.
Need to get on out, though. They used a lot of their team fight there. The Stone Gaze, 70 seconds away. Rolling Thunder, still another 50. They didn't have to use the Epicenter for that, but still can't look to take a sustained team fight.
Sanctity's brought out for the Bloodthorn now. And let's do a quick buyback check. What do we got? Tiny, Sand and the Ire with buyback at the moment.
Tiny still has it after the Bloodthorn? Wow.
My guy
How much
is
gold did he have before that?
Giga rich.
Mm-hmm.
What's higher than Giga?
Omega?
But Giga sounds better than Omega, but you're probably right.
I mean, like, you say Omega, I think of, like, Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, you know? And
Yeah.
the end just feels so final, you know?
I know, but Giga, like, I hear Giga and I think of
All right,
Giga
you
chat
think
and-
what you want.
All right, well, sure, it might be a little bit more logical for Omega, but I hear Giga and I'm like, my guy's got some... Whew, there's levels that
Do
are
you think they need to add a
unattainable.
Giga Kill into the game? You know, we've already got, like,
What's a Giga?
the,
So what, do you kill...
like Mega Kill and all that sort of stuff.
Well,
Do you think it's beyond godlike?
Nah, surely Giga Kill is you get a rampage, but then you get a double rampage. That's Giga Kill.
Okay. Because back in Hon days,
Hon days,
I
freaking
think
boomer.
if you got 15 and 0, you got immortal. That was like the step beyond rampage.
11? Again, another hero on Lilgun very disconnected from the team.
Dire's bottom tower is
BKB
under
means that he
attack.
can safely evade that attempt.
Dire's bottom
No,
tower
I said
has
15, not
fallen.
11.
And I said 20, not 5.
Dire's bottom
I was
tower
just saying
is under
numbers.
attack.
Come on, we've got a game to focus on. Stop being silly.
Never.
So Ken's getting... Oh, he still needs about 1,600
Oh.
gold towards
Dire's bottom
buyback.
tower
That is a
under
big
attack.
item to pick up. A neutral item telescope coming through, especially when you've got a Medusa who's had to
Ooh.
sell her Dragonlance.
Who's holding... Yep, T's holding it. That's... Yeah, alright. I mean, the range is pretty big, so that helps Rapido. Honestly, Losify. But like you said, yeah, more importantly, the attack range for Ken. Sanctity...
Yeah, that tower's
Yeah,
gonna take a
getting
little bit
chunked
of damage.
down. Rolling Thunder, expended with the BKB. They're instant just going to relocate out. No messing around for Kishka. That is reload on
Longest
cooldown.
Wonder if he feels confident in being able to just stick around the general area. I mean, they're going for this.
Oh, they are jumping straight away. Ken's providing the damage. Arena at the last second. They don't kill the Io. A beautiful Arena, though, controlling the Medusa. That's all the damage from UDV. Can they find the follow-up Arena afterwards? Lacking the mana at the moment from 11. And they're just soloing him down. Ken just right-clicking, standing his ground to the best of his capability. As Sanctity feels like he cannot go inside there to duel.
And that's the timer as well for 11. Hadn't
Ooh.
died since he used it in what felt like 3 different fights ago. He's gonna have it back available now, but doesn't have the gold for it. So just another good defense coming through here from UDV. This game is still... We could be going to tier 5 items here.
Yes, sir. We love a good game one, don't we? I mean, it's...
Saw it yesterday, right? Rapier Gaming, back and forth, coming through. believe that was a... Was it a Medusa against a Tiny in that game as well?
Yeah, it was.
it was.
Yeah. Again, this just sets us up perfectly, though, for a hype series and a hype day overall. It's not just this series we have. We've got another Division 2 and a Division 1 series afterwards. So this is putting us in quite a position for SCA Dota tonight.
I love to see it. I think it's Talon TNC, right?
Yes, sir. That's hype.
Mm-hmm.
We still have this grueling match to get through from UDV and Lilgun. So much on the line. Both teams only one victory so far. Lilgun, they're sitting 1-2, and UDV currently sitting 1-1. Sanctum.
Oh, the
Okay.
relocate play.
They might be able to kill the eye before the relocate. Great use of the combo from Sanctum. Repeaters hunting down Kishka. Oh, I don't know. The bash. No. He didn't follow up. They get the eye. Now Sanctity. Okay. Oh, that gave me a heart attack.
Get away. One last melee creep trying to take out the tower. Won't succeed. Oh, feels so bad. Kishka was incredibly close to being able to get away from that one, but it does feel like he needs to put a little bit more into his own survivability. He's just queued up the BKB now. Wouldn't hate to see him go Aeon Disc or something along those lines as well, just because the chain lockdown from UDV is pretty damn good. I mean, you've got Stone Gaze, you've got Rolling Thunder, you've got the Bushwhack, you've got the stuns coming through from the Ogre. I mean, he's got pretty good range as well now, right? Now that he's got the Telescope plus the Aether Lens, so it's an area of concern for mine, the Io survivability, but still lacking a little bit in terms of worth to allow for the buyback. What are we oohing about?
11's going Blade Mail, which
Are scanning.
the
Okay.
only person Dusa should be right-clicking is 11. If he takes his job in the fights is dump in Arena Ken, that is his only job. So in an ideal world, Medusa should only be hitting 11's Blade Mail.
Yeah. It's a clever strat. Let's see if it works out. I mean, it's going to be based around a lot of those BKB timings, of course. So I feel like strat is just going to be throw up the bulwark during the BKB and then try and withstand after that.
The Rapier Blade Mail that I think everyone remembers is, I don't remember what tournament, but Samael, so EG versus Virtus Pro with no one sniper with the Rapier. Hold that thought though, Sanctity. Okay, Lucifer's just going to try and get the outpost, but they're onto the Io in the back line, splitting away, and Ken's going to look to enter the arena, but Sanctity's locked inside the jewel that he doesn't want to take, pops a refresher just to get the blink away, so Sanctity's able to reposition, and meanwhile, Ken just standing his ground, beating onto the Viper. A great use of the arena, though, means that the Medusa's damage slowly starting to tail off. Controlling her, pinning her up to a tree without the mana to stand her ground, but they really need Sanctity to re-enter the fight, and he can do just that! Rapier on the deck, Rapido tries to snag it, a snatch and grab, but not successful. It's an instant relocate out. What a call from Kishka. And look at the gold swing Danog afterwards. What?
Yeah. That's what a Rapier loss will do to you. You know, again, Kishka somehow able to get back into that fight, using the relocate for it, and just the impact that it provides. All that fountain regen, enabling Tiny to go straight back on in. He's level 30, by the way. So he's an absolute beast. And Roche, of course, up just in time.
Do they give him the ace on Sanctity?
What do you even drop on Sanctity right
That's
now?
a great...
I don't think you do.
You don't reckon? He's got Rapier with Tree Volley. That could do stupid amount of damage. All right, they went though. It's okay. It's okay. I don't get my Tree Volley too. Should I buy back up?
Viper.
Yeah, boring Viper players.
No, I feel like Viper's probably the most effective one to have it on this team, right? Just because you see the Stone Gaze come out, you toss the Viper Strike onto him, and you run away.
Another
Even the extra
Rapier.
movement speed from that.
Another Rapier on the Deuce, so she doesn't have buyback for 30. They might end the game beforehand. JG's going to be forced to Rolling Thunder. They don't have Glyph as well. Once again, just targeting down, but if you don't kill the Io, it means you don't kill the Tiny. 12 seconds to the Medusa's alive. Hold the lines, lads, hold the lines. They might do it. Sanctity, though. Arena pursuing on more. Tier 4 down. 11. It doesn't matter. Dusa won't even enter the fight with the next Rapier. As the throne blows up. What a call from Lilgun. Screw the barracks. Screw the tier 3s. Go for the juggler. And they will take our game 1.
Woo! That was what I came to expect from this series. You know, these teams are just so close that a little bit of execution here and there can just turn the game entirely in your favor. And Lilgun, Sanctity, Tiny. I mean, he's got a fair few signature heroes, but he certainly came in clutch in this game.
Oh, without a doubt. And I just astonished at the game when we had. I need to check the damage real quick. Okay, I thought Ace would have a lot more damage than he did. He was third on his team. But this is what a game 1 to set ourselves up for. Lilgun just felt like we really saw the path to success for UDV though. When they could kill the Io at the start of the fight, then they were what felt like in the driver's seat. It felt like they were truly in the driver's seat to be able to take that fight. But when they couldn't get the Io, the recipe for success just wasn't there.
And I think it's hard to compare them exactly, but I feel like in this game, once it got to the 40-plus minute mark, as soon as he picked up the Blink Dagger, based on his Death Prophet, even though he didn't do a ton of damage, just with the Spirit Siphons and the Aghanim Shard, was doing a very similar role to what JG was. And you've got a position 5 on the back lines with something connected up to multiple heroes, using the fear away, preventing them from joining a team fight or forcing a bad BKB to come out. And then you've got a position 2 doing the same thing. You're going to win out on the team that's committing a position 5 for that role as opposed to a position 2. And it just felt like Ken, unfortunately, had to do a little bit too much on his own. So that is Lilgun taking game number 1 in a nail biter, but that means that games 2 and 3 are very much the same.
I feel like it just sets us up perfectly. Although we could really go the opposite direction in game 2 and potentially game 3 as Storms, but that's not what we want. We want close games just like that. What a way to be able to kick us off in our game 1 here between UDV and Lilgun. Everything's on the line. This series always important from both these teams, and well, it's going to be Lilgun just edging out a victory here to start off our night. We're going to send it over break, and when we come back, we'll have game 2 around the corner.